Welcome back. So Brian and I, we're going to kind of recap the hunt because I had so much camera problems, and I did lose my camera. I left it sitting in a place. So pile of camera problems. The one on my head, SD card errors. The other ones would die at night if I didn't put them in my sleeping bag because it was pretty cold at night. So we're going to recap this hunt, and we're going to interject some clips and footage and things as we go. So Friday we met in
Secret place,
Colorado, southern Colorado.
Yeah.
There he is.
Brought the mustache back by popular demand.
Yeah.
My wife, unpopular demand.
Dodgeball. That's the dodgeball stash.
Dip, duck, dodge, dive, dodge. Hunted a truck spot to start. Did about 10 miles.
Good morning. It's Saturday morning now. We are now 2 miles in. We're at a spot where we're going to walk down a little, and we think we're going to be on a knob when it turns daylight to be able to do some glassing. So it's cold enough to be frost on the grass, but yeah, that's what we're doing. There's hunters out here, that's for sure. We had a quad pull up on us right when we were starting to walk in. So we're 2 miles in. Hopefully that keeps some of the heavy hitters out of here. So we'll get at it. That breeze is ice cold. We couldn't quite see as much as we thought we would from that hill right behind me, so we're on the move. Got a nice rub here from this year. Bachelor group of bucks. There's at least 4. There's 5. I'm trying
to. And wasn't seeing anything we liked, so we relocated to our backup spot. That's when it got good.
So we got here and we had to climb.
Not far, but steep.
So we thought it'd be a good idea to do an encore to this morning's 8 miles by relocating, stuffing our guts full of food, filling our packs up, and then going up about as steep as you can climb. We're at about 10.5 right now, and there's no air. Well, we have certainly broken off as much as we can possibly chew climbing this hill. About to the last of the worst of it right now. And then we had that evening to do a quick little run around the area, and we were set up on a meadow and we heard a bugle. All right, we got a bugle. We had to wait for another bugle to go off because we couldn't tell. I thought it was one way, Brian thought it was the other, so we had to wait for it to bugle again. It's kind of faint and high-pitched, but he bugled again and we got a direction, so we're going. We got to close the ground. We got about 45 minutes of legal light. But we figured he's got to be within 500 yards if we can hear him. He might even be closer with this wind.
I was first shooter, so typically first shooter calls the shots. We went straight down into this drainage.
Well, It might be that other hunter from the parking lot. But this sure beats standing there doing nothing.
It was the mother load of elk. I couldn't count how many there were. And we had good wind, no clear shots, and there was a cow, I believe it was, right off to my left, and I did not see it. And when I took a step forward, because there was a bugle over here, I think there was a bugle, it was somewhere in there. I was gonna try and see what it was. That cow caught me and blew the whole herd out. It was like a bomb of elk went off. I was off to Brian's back left. When they started going, you just hear branches crashing. I'm seeing tan things go up the opposite side. I got tan things running right to left. All these tan critters just going everywhere. There's little cow calls going on as they're panicked and just spooked. And there was one bull that stuck around. He did. Cracked the bugle off. I moved up, started raking a tree. And then I felt the wind switch, so I was like, let's leave this guy for tomorrow. Back out of there.
So we saw those elk, but we have yet to find any real water. So we're struggling for water, but we want to obviously hang out because we saw those elk. So here's what we're doing. We're packing water containers with snow.
Then the next morning, your first shooter, because I had an opportunity.
What did we do there?
While we were
Sunday.
What happened? We were walking in. You went to use the little boys' room, and I went up to the meadow again from a little bit lower to try and get the wind right. And heard a bugle. Came back, met you, and tried calling him in. Nothing was happening, so we were kind of, twiddling our thumbs, figuring out what to do next, and he barks like 50 feet away from us through some trees. And then he moved, did it again a little further to the left, and then he was on to the right. So I went up and was trying to go up this way. Brian's calling, trying to get him interested. So I went up, tried to get on his level, go over toward him. By then he's just gone. Yeah, he wasn't barking like he was scared or like he smelled us. He was barking like, show yourself. And yeah, I'm not an elk, so I'm not gonna show myself. That was your encounter. Then I was up again. So now he's first shooter, and we go walking a good ways back, and we get to this other meadow. We get there and steep climb up. I'm like, this looks too good to pass up, so I'm gonna sit here till the evening. And Chris says, well, I'm gonna go up there and sit the meadow. We got nothing's talking, so strategy there is ambush, try and find a spot. Chris goes up the hill. I'm sitting there, not even 30 seconds. Chris comes back, running back down. There's elk, there's elk, there's elk.
We went to beat real early to go pick places to sit on this meadow, and there were already 2 cows feeding, so we're trying to figure out how to get to them. We also think we heard the bull rack his antlers in the woods. It was either that or that was them skedaddling out of here and we're busted. We have dropped packs. We're gonna try to use a little terrain to stalk toward these cows. Brian's primary shooter. This aspen patch in front of us is on a mound, and they're on the other side somewhere. We just hope they're there when we get there. We had a swirly wind, but it was predominantly blowing down. And so I get up the first rise that we thought they were at and get up there and there's nothing. So we we kind of gave up.
I stood there, called Chris up to me, and he comes up and he says they're still there and points at him, and I'm like, oh shoot. So I start straight walking towards them when her head's down, and then she picked her head up and she picked me off. I ranged her at 107 yards, well within my abilities. I felt like an eternity just standing there holding my bow.
She had him locked up good. I was watching him start to shake. His bow's out like off to the side, hanging there in the midair.
Yeah, I static arm curled 8 pounds for like 4.5 minutes. And I don't think she winded me. I did feel the wind hit the back of my neck, but I think she just was like, I don't like this. She kind of moseyed, barked, and ran off. And then we hear a big branch break over here to our right, and we think that he or she saw us, and we didn't get anything from that, and they bolted the other way. So now you're up for.
So now I'm back first shooter. It's the next morning. We get a bugle.
I hear it, Chris doesn't.
Yeah, we're separated and sitting. He hears it, I don't. We go look for it, we don't find it. So then we go back and drop off to this area we wanted to look at, and we find really fresh poop. So we think that that thing bugled from down there. So we kind of follow its rough trail, or like an elk trail.
I also want to point out that elk bugled closer to Chris.
Yeah,
than
and I
me.
didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I was watching moles run around in front of me. I don't know. They were out doing their thing. So then we just kept walking, and we were kind of had a rough outline of kind of a route we wanted to take. And we're just kind of walking an elk trail, and I see an elk down there. Turns out it's a bull. So
Go into stock mode.
he's down there feeding.